Coming up tonight on YCN News, New Hampshire State Senator Bob Odell announces that he will not seek re-election. An ongoing drug sweep results in 8 arrests in Vermont, and more are expected. And we'll hear from Father Tregubov to learn about the Orthodox practices as part of our Easter celebration. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Several months ago, Odell and his family moved from his home in Sullivan County's Limster to a new home and a new county. He now lives in Merrimack County's New London. During his Senate tenure, Odell led several committees, including chairing the powerful Ways and Means panel. He also was vice chairman of the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, along with the Senate's Finance Board. Fellow New Hampshire Republican and U.S. Senator Kelly Ayotte says Odell leaves big shoes to fill. Senator Odell has been a strong and tireless voice for the people of District 8. I always enjoyed working with Senator Odell when I was Attorney General, and I always appreciated the thoughtful and principled perspective he brought to the major issues facing our state. New Hampshire Governor and Democrat Maggie Hassan says it has been an honor to serve with Senator Odell and to work with him on bipartisan solutions to help improve the health and economic security of hardworking Granite Staters. His steadfast commitment to serving the people of New Hampshire will be missed, and I thank him for his distinguished service. With the senator's retirement comes a Senate seat vacancy. YCN News will follow what candidates come forward to claim Odell's seat. A brush fire got out of control Thursday night in the Kellyville section of Newport, New Hampshire. No one was injured, Newport Fire Chief Wayne Conroy told YCN News. Conroy says it was a permitted burn, yet the night's winds fanned the flames and spread the fire. About an acre of land was burned, says Conroy. The land is across from a tattoo shop along the main highway of Routes 11 and 103. The fire was called in around 7:50 p.m. Passers-by could see multiple pumps and tanker trucks from regional fire departments. Firefighters from Claremont, Sunapee, Newbury, Goshen, and Croydon assisted the Newport department. Crews made a couple of knockdowns to keep the flames under control. Airborne sparks resulted in firefighters' continued knockdowns of the field. When YCN News returns, we'll continue with more news.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Turning to Vermont news. Hartford police detectives are withholding the names of suspects who may be charged with drug sales and possession. The investigation continues, an investigation that began shortly after 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. On that day, Hartford police executed a search warrant in a home in the town of Hartford. The address also is being withheld. Found as a result of the court-approved search were illegal narcotics, ledgers, and written documentation indicating the illegal sale of illicit drugs to several people, police say in a department press release. A 22-year-old local man was arrested following the search. 2 more people were later arrested after police learned their identities from information found during the search. The 2 suspects are charged with conspiracy to buy and possess narcotics as they continued to place orders for drugs from the 22-year-old man earlier arrested. On Thursday, April 17th, police located the whereabouts of the 22-year-old man's girlfriend. She is charged with possession of drugs and conspiracy. Police say she aided in the sale and delivery of illegal narcotics throughout the Upper Valley. Thursday night, police received further information that 2 other men would be attempting to resupply the person first identified in the search warrant. These 2 men were found by police and also found in possession of about $1,200 of illegally possessed drugs. Both men were arrested by police on the charges and are being held in the Southern State Correctional Facility in Springfield, Vermont. The 2 men were scheduled to be arraigned today in Windsor County Superior Court. Police say they believe one of the men who will be arraigned today plays a key role in supplying illegal drugs to this area of the country. This man, who police are not yet identifying, has a lengthy criminal history, including charges of drug sales in New Jersey, say police. Since Wednesday's investigations, 8 people have been arrested by police on drug-related charges. Due to the ongoing and sensitive nature of this investigation, Hartford, Vermont police say no names are being released at this time. On a brighter note, this is a special time of year. Easter for many is a time celebrated with chocolate eggs, chocolate bunnies, and sometimes real live bunnies. Though pet rabbits might sound like a cute Easter morning gift for the kids, there is a lot to consider when adopting. I sat down with the executive director of the Springfield Humane Society in Vermont to talk about the issues that arise with Easter time bunny adoptions. What is your response to people who are wanting to get a bunny for Easter?
Here, we would find out if they really know what they're getting into. Rabbits are a long responsibility. They're not something you can just have your kid play with on Easter morning and then stick outside in a hutch. You know, they're very social animals. If you're going to have one rabbit, you should have 2, obviously, not a boy and a girl. And people don't think of that. And years ago, I did animal control, and somebody dumped about a dozen rabbits out in a local park, a state park. And what people don't realize is these aren't wild animals. When they're done and they're not cute anymore, you still have a responsibility. You can't just throw them outside. So I would be sure that they knew what they were getting into.
What are some of the misconceptions about bunnies, having them as pets?
Well, that they are social, and a lot of people get rabbits and they put them in an outdoor hutch where maybe every couple days they'll change the water bottle or put food out, and the rabbits are standing on the wire mesh, and it's painful for their feet. So that should be covered. If they are outside, that should be covered with straw. They should have something to chew on that's like wooden, because their teeth need that. They need more than just throw out a handful of lettuce or rabbit pellets. They need everything. They need rabbit food, and they need fresh vegetables, and they need companionship. And rabbits can be taught to be litter box trained.
Before you cave in to the cuddly face of a furry pet rabbit, make sure you're ready to take on the responsibility of caring for and loving the animal for more than just Easter Sunday. But if you choose to adopt one, check out your local humane societies or animal rescues to see if any bunnies are available. The Springfield Humane Society does not currently have rabbits, but if you'd like to contact them about their other pets, their number is 802-885-3997, or you can go to their website at spfldhumane.org. With the Easter weekend coming upon us, we had a chance to visit with Father Andrew Tregobove here in Claremont to learn about the Orthodox practices around Easter, or as Eastern Christians refer to it as Pascha.
Most central heart, and that is this celebration of Pascha, is that this deeply seated understanding that Christianity is an experience of joy of being with God, an experience of His victory over evil, over death, over mortality, over the fallenness of the world. We're all looking forward to that wonderful night, unlike any other time, when in a dark church we will all stand and wait for a moment. And then we will hear this very quiet voice proclaiming that victory. As though from a distance we will hear that echo coming to us. And then we will go out into the night in that wonderful long procession, bearing witness to that victory that is coming. And then we enter back into the church that will be filled with light and joy and life. And that is at the very heart of what Christianity is all about. This is the true meaning of what Christian faith is. And this is what every single one of us is expecting with great anticipation.
Holy Resurrection completes their celebration with the 11:30 p.m. Saturday service into the wee hours of the morning. To all our Christian viewers, a blessed and joyous celebration to all of you. When YCN News returns, we'll hear from Kearsarge Chronicles' Lynn Solomon, who spoke with Carter Bascom.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now let's take a look at our weather for the next 5 days and then follow up with our local college sports. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 55 degrees with lows in the 20s. Sunday highs will be in the 60s with a low of 36 degrees. Monday temperatures will rise to bring a high of 69 degrees with lows in the 40s. Tuesday and Wednesday we're expecting some rain. Tuesday we'll have highs in the upper 60s with a low of 43 degrees. Wednesday we'll have highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s. Here's a glimpse of the weather from our northeastern and national radar maps. Now, let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Don't forget, tomorrow night in Brattleboro, the Latches Theater will present The Hatches Storytellers on a Mission to benefit the Morningside Shelter at 7:30 p.m. In New Hampshire, the Lebanon Opera House will have a performance by Joan Osborne Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Then in Alstead, New Hampshire, the Molehill Theater is having a classic rock show at 8 p.m. on Saturday night. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now, let's take a glance at some upcoming college games. UNH will play at Stony Brook, New York tomorrow in a women's lacrosse game at 1 p.m. Also in women's lacrosse, Colby Sawyer College is set to duel with the University of Maine Farmington at 10 a.m. Saturday. UVM has 2 games Saturday. In women's lacrosse, the team will take on Binghamton and Burlington, Vermont, at noon. The men's team will battle with Hartford in West Hartford, Connecticut at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Unfortunately, yesterday the Colby Sawyer Chargers women's lacrosse team was defeated by Rhode Island College in overtime. The final score was 10-9. The Chargers played hard. Colby Sawyer was in the lead 9-6 with 4 minutes left. In regulation, however, the Rhode Island anchor women scored 4 quick goals, tying the game. It was a loss, but still a strong game for the Chargers. In Fisher Cats news, Binghamton defeated them yesterday 4-1. Tomorrow the Fisher Cats are gearing up to face Binghamton again. On Sunday, the Fisher Cats will face them again. Both games start at 7:05 p.m. When YCN News continues, we'll hear from Lisa Connell and John O'Connor for this week's News in Review.
The YCN News continues in a moment.